Welcome to the Murder Mystery Live. This is a fantastic evening. We are going to have a good time. And I'm here with Tim. We're both smart ladies wearing glasses because we're smart and pretty. Now you have to make funny model faces like I am.
I realized I was looking in the mirror earlier and I was like, oh, I have resting face.
Which is perfect for your character, young lady. Yes, see? I see. It's all clear to me now. Hey, Jovina. Hi, Candy. Hi, Angie. Hey, Stacy.
Hello, everybody. I will be able to see you in a second.
Welcome.
Hi, Candy. Stacy, Barbara, Samantha, Tanya.
There's some feedback. Hey, Samantha. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Tanya.
StreamYard wasn't working for me, so the lovely Rhonda agreed to have it on her channel.
Hey, Bethany. Oh, I know there's an echo. Is anybody echoing still?
No echoing on my end.
Nope, not me.
Okay.
Nope.
Someone.
Hello.
Ruby, no. Ruby keeps wanting to get on my keyboard. She's charming.
It's okay, wifey. You can keep on playing with your pussy.
Okay.
I don't mind in front of people, you know. That's how we roll.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it sure is. Everyone's looking all sorts of different. I'm not normally dressed like this. I even got a ring. We're married. Look
at my ring. You want no cheapskate neither. Hey, Debutante. Hey, Erica.
Only the best, my love. Only the best for you.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Erica.
Hey, guys. Yeah, StreamYard wasn't letting me stream it on my channel. It just kept saying error, try again. And I tried it for like 3-4 minutes, and I was like, it's just not working on my laptop or my phone. So Rhonda agreed to have it on her channel.
I don't mind at all. My pleasure.
I know. Isn't my wife so generous?
Oh, wait. I can't see everybody in my basement. Oh, shit. I can't see. I can't get the Zach in my basement. It won't let me scroll down. Oh, I'm dumb. There's a scroll thing. There's Melissa. Sorry, Melissa.
There we go.
Melissa. I was trying to figure out how to scroll down. I haven't had this many people on my channel ever. You're breaking my records left and right.
Woohoo!
I don't know what it's like on the computer, but whenever I do 6 people on panel on my phone, even my newer iPhone freaks out with it. It does not like having more than like 4 people up on the panel.
All right. Well, we're all here now, and we have an audience of lovely people.
All right. So here are the rules. The first person to guess not only the first killer, because there's 2, and how they did it and why, wins a prize. Now, the prize is 2 different Pope earrings. So there's the first one. And then the second one is these ones, which are candy corn, super cute.
Candy corn.
And then the Barely There palette.
Ooh.
There is 10 shades, all nudes. All right, so there is 6 rounds. The first one is basically you guys getting introduced to our characters. The second one is us realizing our lovely host is gone and missing, so we search for her. Third one, we discover her body. Fourth one, we're kind of like, okay, well, who, kind of pointing the fingers at everybody. The fifth one is where you guys will finally have all the clues. Between the 5th and the 6th, you guys get to guess who you guys think did it and why. And then the sixth one, we all read a different confession, and it'll tell you who the killers are. So I think that's it. I didn't miss anything, right, guys?
Nope,
No,
it
I
sounds
think that
perfect.
sounds good.
Perfect.
So
Hi, Elvira.
your job as the chat is obviously to be the investigators. You can ask us questions each round, and each round we will also give you a different clue. So we'll start the first one. So the backstory is, hold on, my phone's messing up. Sorry, guys. Come on. Okay. One year ago, Robert Killingworth bought his farm. 6 months later, he was dead, leaving his widow Elizabeth to tend to their fledgling vineyard and vineyard on the outskirts of California's wine country. Mourning and in debt, not knowing how to run a business, Elizabeth is desperate to sell the farm and recoup her losses. The fierce drought and shaky economy, however, has left Killingsworth Farm on the market, but not for too long. One early autumn day, 6 people passed through the gates of Killingsworth Farm to see Elizabeth. 2 of them are cold-blooded killers. So, right now, the scenarios, we are all standing in the foyer waiting for our host Elizabeth to arrive. I'll start with my character. So I play Enrique Graves. He or I work at the barn, and I do odd jobs around the farm. Elizabeth found me one night a year and a half ago, sleeping in her barn. I was a drifter, and I had no direction of where I was going to go or what to do. She found me, she took me in, she gave me a job. She also encouraged me to start going back to school. So she pays for my living expenses as well as for me to go to college. So that is my character. James?
Sorry, I had my mic muted. Big birds are being chatty, as usual. So, my character's name is Norman. I don't know how the last name's properly pronounced. D-A-D-L-Y, so Davley. Davley?
Yep.
No. So, I grew up in the same city as Elizabeth, which happens to be Jersey City in New Jersey. I met my beautiful wife, Vicky, which is played by Rhonda. I met her through Elizabeth. She is Elizabeth's sister. When we had met when she was very young, as in Vicky, and we married and eloped when Vicky turned 18. I currently work, and in my opinion, I'm a bit overworked, honestly, as I'm a real estate broker in New York. Vicky and I, we've decided to take a vacation to get away from all the hustle and bustle in New York. Our daily lives are quite stressful. You know, I'm a real estate agent. It's quite a lot of work. And we wanting to rekindle our love with our little vacation. We've been, for the last week, we've been going around in our new RV. We've been doing a bit of a road trip. And we are currently at the Killingsworth Farms to visit our sister-in-law, Elizabeth. We're hoping in our spare time to, rekindle our love. And I'm also an amateur ornithologist, so I like to look at birds, watch birds. So I very rarely go out without my binoculars. I like to watch the birds. So taking use of being in the farms to have a look at the birds. Because, as you can hear, I like the birds. Yeah.
Well, then, I guess it's my turn since my lovely husband already went first. My name is Vicky Dialli, and I am the younger sister of Elizabeth. And as a child, I looked up to her, and she was my hero. But as we got older and interested in boys, we began to drift apart. And after graduating high school, I married my high school sweetheart, Norman. Lovely Norman. And currently, I'm a part-time homemaker with 3 lovely boys, strapping young men. And I work part-time at a makeup counter, hence my lovely visage. And I'm hopelessly addicted to daytime soap operas. I love a little drama. And And I'm famous for being on Jerry Springer. For the episode was "What I'd Do for a Buck." So I'm always the talk of the town for being on Springer. And we've been traveling. Me and Norman have been traveling around. And yesterday we arrived at the farm, and we're hoping to make an opportunity to build a better relationship with my sister.
All right, Tish, your character?
All right. I am Dr. Chelsea Barron, and I live next door to Elizabeth. I bought the land a year ago when the original farm was subdivided and sold. It was around the same time as the Killingsworth bought their land. So I'm friends, or well, not really friends with Elizabeth. We just kind of nod at each other, but we're friendly. I'm a retired psychiatrist, and I saw some pretty big names. What? My thing is messed up. Can I go back out and come back in?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Thank you. We're having technical difficulties. We'll resume in just a moment. But welcome to those who just have joined us. This is Murder Mystery Live, and we're introducing our characters. And we are bringing Tish back up. Is this better, Tish?
Sorry. Okay. So, I'm a retired psychiatrist, and I saw some pretty big name celebrities, not that I would name drop ever. I used to listen to them go on and on and on about their boring lives. I actually wrote a book. It's a murder mystery. It did really well. It was only 17 away from being in the top 10 bestsellers list. It did so well, it allowed me to move here so I could focus on a sequel. My husband is overseas on business, but I keep my spirits up. I throw some really great parties. In fact, I just came over to talk to Elizabeth about using some of her extra farmland for valet parking for the party I'm hosting next week.
Okay. Zach, your character?
Hold on. Okay, I am Michael Nightshade. I came from New York to California on business, and business is my life. And my cell phone is almost a permanent fix in my hand. I am a land development consultant. I've been hired by the state of California to find an inexpensive tract of land and a low-cost housing project. And when I'm not working, I enjoy hitting the clubs. I'm young and energetic.
All right, and the last character is Melissa's.
Okay, my character's name is Kathleen Mullet. She is best friends with Elizabeth Killingsworth. Elizabeth often volunteers at the library where I, for the last 10 years, have been the head and only librarian. You are unmarried. I am unmarried, but I have several nieces and nephews on which I dote almost as much as my 15 cats. Okay. Not only are you the town librarian, but the historian. Not only am I the town's librarian, but the historian and biggest gossip as well. It is almost impossible to keep a secret in such a small town, and I am proud of the fact that I know everything about everybody. I have read every novel by Agatha Christie, Patricia Cornwell, and of course, Lillian Jackson Brunt, the Cat Who series. Sometimes on rainy days, I feel like picking up a Stephen King. Today, I dropped by the Killingsworth farm to visit Elizabeth and serve a nice cup of tea. I am sad that Elizabeth is selling the farm and are going to miss her terribly when she moves back east coast. That's it. That is it.
All right. So does anybody have any questions about our characters?
I know Jovina was just saying it was really hard to hear me. I did have myself muted. Is my microphone sounding fine now that it's unmuted?
You sound fine to me.
Okay.
I think
Let me know, Jovina.
somebody has feedback going on.
Yeah, I just had myself muted all them because I've got real birds, as you can hear, and they will scream and carry on because they know when I'm specifically talking.
Okay. So no questions? Okay,
Jen, we're doing a murder mystery. I'm doing fine. And we're about to get into the game. So enjoy our performance. Amy, take it away. Sorry.
it's all good. Okay. So this is the part where we realize our lovely host has yet to be seen, and we're all standing here wondering where she is. So my scenario is it's a quarter of an hour past the time she was supposed to arrive. I hastily gulped down the last glass of Killingsworth farm wine. A somber mood lingers over the air. Where's Elizabeth Killingsworth? I feel at ease and ill and strange with this group of unveiled guests. Of course, one of the other guests I do notice who suggests the group split up to find Elizabeth. I can't help but wonder what about the other people around and what the circumstances that brought each one to the farm today. As the group begins to go in different directions in search of Elizabeth, I decide to use the opportunity to learn more about the other characters. So that is what I am currently doing. Rhonda, what is your character currently doing?
Right now, at 9 o'clock, I woke up and then I had breakfast with Elizabeth from 9:30 to 10. And then I've been lounging around the farmhouse and exploring the farm. And I had lunch with Elizabeth, Catherine, and Dr. Barron. And then I was in the room with Norman for a while. And I'm exploring the farm and exploring the wine vault. And then I come back to the house. But what I did notice is Norman was not in bed when I woke up, and I did not see him again this afternoon. This was fine because I enjoy the peace and quiet. I hear that Dr. Barron is writing a novel about a man who was bludgeoned to death and dumped into a lake. The murder goes unsolved. Plot sounds vaguely familiar. You wonder which of the suspects Dr. Barron believes is the killer.
All right, James, since she said that you were missing, where have you been?
So between 8:30 and 10 a.m., I woke up and went into town to run some errands. Between 10 and 10:30, I watched some birds on the farm. Between 10:30 and 11 a.m., I had a talk with Elizabeth. Between 11 and 1 p.m., I did some more watching of the birds in the farm. 1 and 2:30 p.m., I had a couple of business phone calls. Between 2:30 and 3:30, I was in the room with Vicky, having a little chat. Between 3:30 and 5:30, took a walk. 5:30 to 6:30, I was relaxing in the rose garden. 6:30 to 6:45, I had a little walk around the farm again. Between 6:45 and 7 p.m., the lights went out in the wine vault. I went to go see what happened. And between 7 p.m. to now, returned to the Killingsworth farmhouse. While I was, do you want me to, it says what I know, because are we actually discussing what we're doing while searching for Elizabeth now?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So while I was searching for Elizabeth, I entered her bedroom and I found a small shrine dedicated to her late husband, Robert. There was one particular article that I found in there that caught my attention. which is a newspaper article that was dated from 6 months ago. So it reads, men whose body found in lake identified. Marco Kane police have identified a man found floating in Freedmont Mill Lake last week as Robert Killingsworth, 41, a vineyard and winery owner from Marco Kane. Killingsworth's body was identified through his fingerprints, says homicide detective Michael Knoll. He said Killingsworth's body was found April 21st at 1:30 p.m. by boaters. An autopsy determined he died from blunt head trauma. Killingsworth lived and worked at Killingsworth Farm, Vineyard and Winery off Route 41 in Marco Kane, where he was last seen 2 weeks ago. Detective Noel said Robert's wife, Elizabeth Killingsworth, reported her husband's disappearance to police after he failed to meet her in town for dinner. An officer in the missing person's detail matched fingerprints on file with those of Killingsworth's body, Noel said. Anyone with information about Killingsworth's death is encouraged to contact the Marco Kane Police Department. Elizabeth Killingsworth is offering a $10,000 reward for information. That is all.
Okay. Dr. Chelsea?
Okay, so between the time that I woke up at noon, I was at home working on my next book, and between noon and 1:15, I was tending my garden. Between 1:15 and 2:30, I was having lunch with Elizabeth Killingsworth. Between 2:30 and 3:45, I was working on my book again. And between 3:45 and 4 o'clock, I was at the Killingsworth farm talking to Elizabeth. Between 4 and 6, I was at home resting. Between 6:45 and 7, I was again at the Killingsworth farm talking to Elizabeth. And from 7 p.m. until now, I returned to the Killingsworth farmhouse. Okay, so I was tending to my garden around noon, and I saw Michael Nightshade drive up. He went up and spoke to Elizabeth on the front porch. I also saw Kathleen Mullet looking through a medicine cabinet in the bathroom, and it looked like she took a bottle of pills and put it in her pocket. And then she joined Elizabeth and Michael on the porch at about 12:15. Michael's car has been in the parking lot of the library every day for the past 4 days. And I've spent a lot of time there lately doing research for my book. I've also seen Enrique there quite a few times. He comes in and he gets papers from the librarian and leaves. Funny, it's never books.
All right. Zach, your character, Michael Nightshade, since the doctor called you out.
Yep. What am I reading?
Where have you been and what do you know?
Oh.
Round 2.
From morning to noon, I was traveling to Killingsworth Farm. And then noon to 12:15, I was discussing buying the farm with Elizabeth. And then 12:15 to 1, I was looking around the farm with Elizabeth. And then at 1 o'clock, Elizabeth got stung by a bee. And then from 1 to 1:15, I returned with Elizabeth to the farmhouse. 1:15 to 3, I was making business phone calls in the car. 3 to 5:15, I was examining Killingsworth Farm alone. 5:15 to 6:45, I was doing a wine tasting in the wine vault. And then 6:35 to 7, the lights go in the wine vault. Elizabeth goes to investigate. At 7 to present, I return to Killingsworth Farmhouse.
Okay, and what do you know?
I arrived at Killingsworth Farm at 12, and I was approached at the house to ask Elizabeth if I can look around the grounds, and seemed happy to oblige. In fact, she almost seemed desperate to show me around. Besides Elizabeth, you can see Kathleen Mullet, who came to join me on the front porch at about 12:15. And while you and Elizabeth were walking on the ground, she noticed that she was carrying around a small object. You do not think she realized she was carrying it, as she had been engrossed in talking about the farm. At about 1 p.m., you were in the rose garden with the bee stung Elizabeth. She dropped the object she was carrying in the grass and ran back inside the house. I followed her.
All right, Catherine Lawless. So your turn.
Okay, so my whereabouts. At 8 to 9 a.m. at the library, shelving books and watering plants. From 9 to 11, running errands in the town. From 11 to noon, morning coffee with Elizabeth Killingsworth at her farm. Noon to 12:15, Mitchell Nightshade arrives and speaks with Elizabeth. From 12:15 to 1:30, making lunch at the Killingsworth farm. From 1:30 to 2:30, eating lunch with Elizabeth, Vicky Alvey, and Dr. Barron. 2:30 to 7 p.m., sitting on the farm's house porch, reading and waiting for Elizabeth. 7 p.m. to present, returning to the Killingsworth farm. And what I know is I recognize Dr. Charlene Barron's from her book cover. Her latest novel was nearly a bestseller, but was surrounded in controversy. I recalled hearing that she was sued over it. I wonder if she's still writing. I went into the town library early this morning to shelve books and water the plant. As I was leaving, I noticed Norman in the gift shop next door. The cashier was placing a few items into Norman's bag. I was certain that one of the items was made of gold. At morning coffee with Elizabeth, she showed me a corkscrew that Norman has given her just hours earlier. Elizabeth seemed very flustered by the gift. She did not seem to realize that she had it still in her hand when the doorbell rang at noon. I recall that Enrique Graves seems to have a lot of more disposable income after Robert Killingsworth's death, spending more time on his car and friends and less time at the library. That's it.
Okay, so my whereabouts. From 6 to 9 a.m., I was doing chores in the field. From 9 to noon, I was cleaning the farmhouse. Noon to 3, I had lunch alone and was resting in the barn. From 3 to 4, I was fixing the wires in the wine vault. From 4 to 6:30, I was resting in the barn. From 6:37, I returned to fix the wiring in the wine vault. And from 7 to present, I returned to Killingsworth Farm. Here's what I know. Around 9:30 this morning, I was cleaning the farmhouse windows from the outside when I heard Vicky D'Ali sobbing and speaking to someone. She was in the breakfast room at the time. When Robert Killingsworth died, Elizabeth felt alone and distraught. She had no other living family member except for her sister, whom she said that she had not seen since high school. Elizabeth wanted to make amends with her sister, but she had never wanted to see her brother-in-law again. She never made contact with her sister. So is there any questions before we move to round 3 from the chat?
There were some questions in chat.
Okay.
One asked what the object was.
Which object?
I don't know. That's all I asked.
No,
Sure is
no.
Zinnia joking that it was Zinnia was joking around. It was Jeffree Star that was the killer.
You want to know why there was no mention of the library from Zach's character?
I don't know. Oh, the object that I dropped. I didn't drop an object.
Elizabeth dropped an object.
It was Elizabeth.
All right, so we're going to have to move to the next round to find out what that object is. Because neither one, we're not Elizabeth, so that's not our character. So we're gonna have to move to the next to find out. But there's no more questions other than that.
That's part 4.
All right. So we're gonna move to round 3, and it is gonna start with Catherine Lawless.
I think I have part 3.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
All right. So I'm trying to find. Almost as soon as all of us, the guests, splits up in search of the missing Elizabeth, the sounds of screams draw everyone deep into the labyrinth that makes up the Killingsworth wine vault, an exquisite wine storage facility behind the Killingsworth farm. The lights will not turn on, and only a sliver of moonlight shines through the window. As my eyes adjust to the darkness, you see a body, face down in a large pool of blood. I instantly tell myself that you found the body of Elizabeth Killingsworth. The darkness of the wine vault makes examining the body impossible. The group decides to return to the main house to call the police. I suspect that one in the group is responsible for the murder of Elizabeth, and you have a few questions to ask. Right. What I know that Robert Killingsworth well. He was a strong and capable man. The fact that he was bludgeoned to death is unsettling. His killer must have surprised him or tricked him. Who was the last person to see him alive? Around 1 p.m., the Killingsworth telephone rang, and you answered it. It was the law firm calling for Norman. He was on the phone in the study for the next hour and a half. I listened to the phone call and hear Norman talking to a lawyer about sexual harassment lawsuit and something about embezzlement. At 1:30, Dr. Behrens joined Vicky, Dal, and Elizabeth for lunch at the Killingsworth farm. Though Elizabeth tried to change the subject many times, the conversation mainly revolved around Mitchell Nightshade's waiting to return to the farm into a low-cost housing development. Dr. Barron was very unhappy about the proposal. And that is it.
Okay. My scenario is almost as soon as all the guests split up in search of missing Elizabeth Killingsworth, the sound of a scream draws everyone into the labyrinth that makes up.
I think everyone has that same.
Everyone has
like,
that scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
for
we-
everybody.
All right, so then this is what I know. When Norman and Vicky Daly arrived late last night, I helped them with their luggage from their RV. I noticed the RV was filled with boxes, more than 2 people would ever need on vacation. Around 3, I was fixing the wiring in the wine vault when Dr. Chelsea Barron joined me. I've been sleeping around with Dr. Barron, but also know that she's just using me to get information about the Killingsworth for her next book. All right. What do you know, Tish? Or Doctor?
She meant Michael, not Mitchell.
Okay, so I joined, or more so invited myself in for lunch with Elizabeth at 1:30. Catherine Lawless and Vicky Daly were there as well. And I've known for a long time now that Enrique grows his own marijuana crop down by the lake. I wonder if he has a drug problem or if anyone else knows about it. Elizabeth Killingsworth initially offered a large cash reward for information leading to the arrest of her husband's killer, but she retracted it days later. I don't know.
All right, so I am going to let the people know because Shelly said in the chat that there are 2 killers. Yes. So you guys, your job is to find out who killed Elizabeth Killingsworth and who killed her husband the year before. So I am going to go to Rhonda's character now.
Alrighty, it is my turn to tell the tale, and I will because I'm dramatic. At 1:30, Dr. Barron barged into my lunch with Catherine and Elizabeth, and we could tell that Elizabeth was uncomfortable because she hates Dr. Barron. And during lunch, I took a peek through Dr. Barron's notebook, noticing her notes regarding Robert Killingsworth's murder. That was easy for me to say. Dr. Barron seems to think Robert was killed in his own home. A drop of blood was found in the carpet in front of his study computer, and the files had been rifled through, and the phone was off the hook. Elizabeth believes that the bloodstain had been there for years, but she could not explain why the diary or the phone or papers were messed up. Michael Nightshade looks very familiar to me, and I finally recognize him because I met him last year at Norman's company holiday party, and they work at the same brokerage firm. And I didn't know that the company developed land. That was new to me, and certainly I didn't know it was in California because they're based in New York.
Right.
Ta-da.
So James, your character now.
So, Vicky is Elizabeth's only living relative, so that's Rhonda's character. She is the rightful heir to the Killingsworth farm now that Elizabeth is dead. Around 3:45 p.m., I overheard a heated conversation between Elizabeth and Dr. Chelsea Barron. Elizabeth was telling Chelsea that she would rather deny any evidence in the murder of Robert Killingsworth than let Chelsea expose any of it in her book. Every time I've seen Enrique today, he seems to be looking underneath furniture, in drawers, etc., as if he has lost something.
Interesting.
All right, Zach, you're the last one.
I'm reading what you know, right? Okay. After Elizabeth was stung by a bee in the rose garden, she hurried back to the farmhouse to tend her wound. You spent the next 2 hours in your car making business calls. At 3, Elizabeth had not come back out to the farmhouse, so you decided to look around the farm on your own. At about 3:15, you saw a woman enter the wine vaults. You can see Enrique inside the door, and the two were speaking compassionately. You walked away and did not see when the woman came out of the wine vault. That's it.
All right. Any questions from the chat? Okay. So basically, we just discovered her body. Everybody's like, okay, saying, I think this person did it. I think this person did it. And that's where we're at. All right. So we're going to move on to the 4th. And I am going to start with the doctor this time.
You want me to start with the scenario? Okay, you've returned to the wine vaults with flashlight in hand. In the light, you can see the many meandering paths formed by the stacked oak barrels of wine and almost get lost. Coming upon the body, I confirm that it is in fact Elizabeth Killingsworth, and I immediately see the cause of death. A golden corkscrew juts from the right side of her neck. There appears to be something inscribed on the corkscrew, but the pool of blood prevents me from getting close enough to the body for a closer inspection. The sight of Elizabeth's body is too gruesome for some of the guests, and I decide to return once again to the main house to ponder these new clues. So the clock on the wall in the wine vault was stopped at 6:45. It stopped when the power went out. Where is everybody? who was the last person to see Elizabeth Killingsworth alive? I saw Elizabeth at 3:45 when I had a brief conversation with her in the farmhouse about my upcoming novel. I left Elizabeth and went home to call my publisher. At 5:30, I was swimming in my pool when I saw Enrique Graves and Vicky D'Adley in the rose garden. By the time I got out of the pool to find out what was going on, Vicky had left. About 6:45, I saw Vicky D'Adley heading towards the wine vault. I noticed she was wearing a different outfit than she had been this afternoon. I also noticed that Catherine Lawless was sitting on the back porch of the Killingsworth farm watching me, but I followed Vicky into the wine vault anyways. I trailed her as she made her way through the labyrinth of halls, never letting her out of my sight.
Okay, since you mentioned Vicky, where have you been? Or, I mean, what do you know?
All right. Just one second. All right. What I know. I last saw Elizabeth alive during lunchtime. I spent most of the day by myself, but I did meet with Norman for a short while around 2 o'clock. I sat with Catherine on the back porch for a short time, and the discussion turned toward life goals, and Catherine and I talked about how I'd like to go to Hollywood and become a star. If only you were if you weren't hunkered down with a husband and 2 kids. Catherine seemed to lose herself, and she told me of her similar desires of getting out of the small town to live an exciting life, and she was going to do it. And she was going to do something about it. She did not elaborate, though. She only grinned and laughed, almost maniacally.
All right. So, Melissa, your character.
Okay, so what I know. I last saw Elizabeth Killingsworth alive during lunch around 4 p.m. I quickly drove back to the library and checked out a copy of Dr. Charlene Barron's latest book. Soon afterward, I was sitting at the Killingsworth farm back porch reading the book and waiting for Elizabeth to finish showing Mitchell Nightshade around the farm. She never returned. At around 6:45, I noticed Dr. Charlene Barron coming from her house next door. She followed someone into the wine vault. Moments later, the lights in the windows of the wine vault flickered and goes out. That's it.
Okay, this is what I know. I last saw Elizabeth Killingworth alive around 5:30 while I was taking a break. Elizabeth was heading into the wine vault with Michael Nightshade. At 6:30, I went to the wine vault to work on the short in the wiring. I was sure that I turned off all electricity, but at least 6:45, I was shocked with a volt of electricity that had knocked me unconscious for the next quarter of an hour. The jolt of electricity must have shortened out the lights in the wine vault. Dr. Chelsea Barron was almost as devastated by Robert Killingsworth's death as Elizabeth. I wonder why Dr. Barron is so interested in the life and death of Robert. Her interest seems too extreme to be strictly professional. So, Michael, because I saw you last with Elizabeth alive.
Do I read my top part? It is a secret clue.
No, just read round 4, what you know.
Okay, at 5:15, you met with Elizabeth Killingsworth again. Together, you found a cozy corner in the wine vaults to sample various wines and discuss the sale of Killingsworth Farms. You were still drinking together when the lights flickered and went out. You heard someone screaming from the other end of the wine vaults. Elizabeth Killingsworth told you to wait there Well, she went and investigated. That was the last time you saw her alive. That's it.
Where'd James go? It's his turn.
Sorry, my bird was looking at me wanting attention, and if I didn't give it, it was about to scream, so I had to. I'm back. So, I last saw Elizabeth alive around 3:45 p.m. when I passed by the farmhouse and I overheard her talking to Dr. Chelsea Barron about her book. I then continued on my bird watching walk in the fields. I had just finished a business call in the study when I had seen Catherine Lawless approach Michael Nightshade. He was sitting in his car just outside the study window. I heard bits of the hushed conversation, and I'm certain that I heard Michael say, "Are you sure about this, Aunt Catherine?" She then handed him a small pill bottle. I was bird watching most of the afternoon. I went out into the grape field, and I noticed that the wine vault lights flickered and went out. I thought it was odd, but then I had heard Vicky screaming. I ran inside the wine vault from the back door, but soon got lost in the labyrinth of halls. I did not find Vicky until I came back into the farmhouse and saw the other guests.
Whatever, Shelley. Okay. I can't. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for any of the characters?
Stacy.
I don't know if you...
Suspicious.
Yeah. Other than the birds, no? All right. So we are going to round 5, which are the final clues. So the scenario is, you can hear the wails of distant police sirens. Soon, investigators will be swarming Killingsworth Farms and asking questions you may not want to answer. You still have a few minutes, though, and there are still few issues with the fellow guests that you want to clear up. This is what I know. The day that Robert Killingsworth was killed, he had lunch with Dr. Chelsea Barron. She pled with him to see her the next day as well. But Robert refused. Chelsea continued to beg, but Robert said he would only let her back onto his property over his dead body. You wonder if that was just an expression. All right, so I want to hear from Dr. Chelsea, because you're looking awful suspicious lately.
Do I read the scenario?
It should be the same scenario that I just read, right? In the distance, the police sirens. Yeah, so just what you know.
All right. Enrique Graves seems desperate to retrieve the piece of paper that fell out of his wallet during our tryst at 3 o'clock. I wonder if the paper has something to do with Robert's death. I showed the paper to Elizabeth Killingsworth at 3:45. Do I show the paper? It says open and reveal the secret clue. Okay, so you won't be able to read this. It's a sheet of notebook paper with scrawled handwriting. 3 blank checks are stapled to the back of the page. Each check is dated 6 months ago. The name on the account is Robert Killingsworth. There are drops of blood staining the page. And there are account numbers for a savings account number and a PIN number, a checking account number and a PIN number, a credit card account number, and another credit card account number. And that is the clue.
Okay. Michael Nightshade, what do you know?
Early in the day, I bumped into Vicky, whatever her last name is, and thinking it was Elizabeth, began asking her questions about the extent of the farmlands. Vicky interrupted you to tell you she's not Elizabeth. Vicky and Elizabeth look very identical.
All right, Vicky.
Alrighty. So I returned to Elizabeth's body to get a closer look at the corkscrew. The corkscrew is engraved, and it says, "To Elizabeth, I will always love you. Let's toast to a new life together." On the floor of the hall nearby was a bottle of prescription sleeping pills. A date on the bottle indicated it was refilled only 2 days ago. The bottle was empty.
All right. James, your character. Norman.
While on a walk about 3:45 p.m., I passed the farmhouse and heard Elizabeth Killingsworth argue with Dr. Chelsea Barron. Dr. Barron was planning to have proof of who killed Robert Killingsworth, but Elizabeth would not listen. That's all mine is.
Okay. And last but not least, Catherine.
Hold on. Uncle Vicky. Sorry, my daughter asked me a question. So while on Elizabeth's studio, I noticed a candlestick on the fire mantle. Enrique Grave gave me one identical candlestick months ago as a birthday gift. Yours, however, is dented and not in a nice condition. That's it.
Okay, so since this is round 5, and this is where the last clues, that you're going to pick up, because after this I'm going to ask, your guys' opinion and what you think. So I have a secret clue, and my secret clue is a letter saying, "Dear sister, I want you to come join me. I want you to bring John, Virginia, and little Bill. The land is unequal, and the world has never presented a picture as California now presents. This letter must reach you in confidence. However, I have found an untaped veil of gold in the valley on my farm. God willing, it may yield hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds of gold. I need to mine that gold, but have not invested anything I own in farm equipment. Others have started arriving fast from faraway states to prospect. I keep them away from my find as long as possible, but must be willing to move swiftly. I need money to hire men I can trust. I must keep this a secret as long as possible. If you can, sell your property and bring all the money to you. I will write again shortly after and instruct you how to cross the plains. From your affectionate brother, Samuel Fremont." Now, it's dated September 18th, 1885, and it is from the public library. And that is the only clue that I have. So, anybody else has not revealed their clue? James?
I don't have any clues. I have been asked a question, though. Stacey, no, I did not go to the pharmacy while I was out and about. I only went to the jewelry store. I got a piece of jewelry from my lovely, lovely wife, Vicky, and I got the corkscrew, and that's it. I'd then also taken some business calls, went back to the farm, did some bird watching at the farm.
Okay, any questions for any of the characters?
He started at like 1:30. They probably won't be back. He told me to let you go. They probably won't see him. So don't bother calling back.
All right, so now I'm going to ask, who do you think killed Robert and why?
I actually have a clue for round 4.
Okay, what was your clue?
All right, so it's note written on Killingsworth farm letter dated today. Dearest Catherine, as you know, time has been hard since Robert's death. I struggle each day to find the strength to go on. The thought of selling my home, Killingsworth Farm, is too much to bear. But as you know, I can no longer afford the farm's upkeep, let alone wine production. I am lost. I am alone. Tonight, when I fall asleep, I do not plan to see the morning. My sleeping pills should ensure that I never awake. You have been so good to Robert and I this last year, and you are truly my best friend. I want you to have Killingsworth Farm, run it, sell it, or do with it whatever makes you happy. With heartfelt gratitude, Elizabeth Killingsworth.
Okay, and did it say who it was addressed to?
To me.
Okay. All right.
I think I had a clue in round 1.
Yeah, yours. Yeah, that's okay. We will skip that one. It's just what the farm looks like.
Yeah.
It's mapped out. So, all right. So are those all the guesses? Okay, we have Robert was killed for his land, but you didn't say who by, Javina. Who killed him? Stacy says, I think Michael did it to get closer to Elizabeth. Barbara says Dr. Tish because she wanted the land, killed the husband. Melissa killed Elizabeth because she wanted the land. All right. So I'm not. Who has the very first? We're gonna move on to round 6, so you guys can figure out who killed everybody. So the first confession. Who has the very first one? Is it you, Melissa?
Melissa, you're muted.
I don't think it is me, because I have mystery.
Yeah, mystery's first.
Mystery's first?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it says, all right, confession statement. My life has revolved around books. This is why I became a librarian. Some people, however, might call me a dreamer. I will admit that I have always longed for a more exciting life. Tonight has been especially exciting for me. For once, I do not have to be connected just reading a mystery in one of my library books. I can finally live the adventure. As a mystery novel fan, I've learned the critical facts in solving any murder. The killer must have a motive to murder, the means to commit the crime, and the opportunity to do so. I was Elizabeth Killingsworth's best friend. I would have never dreamed of killing her. In fact, I could not have killed her. We've known that Elizabeth was murdered in the wine vault this evening. I was nowhere near the wine vault today. Furthermore, Elizabeth was found with a corkscrew jetted out of her neck. Earlier today, Elizabeth told me that Norman Dallow had given the same corkscrew to her as a gift. He had even inscribed it to her. Elizabeth mentioned that she dropped the corkscrew in the rose garden today after being stung by the bee. She rushed back to the farmhouse for treatment. The time was 1 p.m. Only the person who were in the rose garden today would have access to the murder weapon, using it to kill Elizabeth. I am innocent. All right, the next one is going to be mayhem.
That's me. I think. I read it all right.
Yeah. Yep. Redo the confession.
I was at the Rose Garden this afternoon with Elizabeth Killingsworth. She was showing me around the farm. I probably could have picked up the corkscrew when Elizabeth dropped it, but I did not do so. My mind was elsewhere. I'm exactly who I appear to be, and I'm not the only one. My Aunt Kathleen Mullet is not exactly the best friend to Elizabeth that she would make us believe. I am not a real estate developer. I'm a junior executive trainee at a real estate brokerage in New York City. I came to see Elizabeth in order to buy her farm inexpensively. While helping Enrique Graves with his college research, Catherine uncovered clues to millions of dollars in gold somewhere in Killingsworth farm fields. That was a secret she kept even from me. Catherine and I first planned to buy Elizabeth's farm outright. I was to buy the farm and sell it to Catherine afterwards at a tiny profit. Unfortunately, Elizabeth's asking price was much more than I could afford on my modest salary. Unable to persuade Elizabeth to lower her selling price enough, Catherine decided to take her plan to the next level. She was desperate to escape the mundane life here in Marrow and obtaining the gold at the Killingsworth farm would have provided her with the financial freedom to pursue all her life dreams. While I was seeing the grounds with Elizabeth, Catherine stole some sleeping pills from Elizabeth's medicine cabinet and slipped them to me while I was making phone calls from my car. I crushed the sleeping pills and slipped them into Elizabeth's wine while we were wine tasting in the vaults just before she was killed. Catherine had forged a suicide note for Elizabeth with the instructions that Catherine should be given the Killingsworth farm. Catherine was trying to get the farm for free and leave me completely out of the picture, without even having made a profit selling the land to her. Had I known that Catherine was trying to give me the shaft, I would have never gone along with her crazy plan. I admit I had tried to kill Elizabeth. Somebody else got to her first. I certainly did not stab her in the neck with a corkscrew. The next word is murder.
All right, that's me. Well, I was certainly fooled by Michael Nightshade's deception. I was terrified that he was going to turn the Killingsworth farm into low-cost housing. I've already lost my practice and book deals. If Elizabeth sold her farm, my property value would have plummeted. I would have nothing left. I would be completely broke. But I would not have killed Elizabeth over a few dollars. I am a doctor, after all. On the other hand, I had always suspected that Elizabeth Killingsworth murdered her husband, Robert, 6 months ago. I loved Robert and had been having an affair with him when his death went unsolved. I made it my mission to expose Elizabeth as his killer and make the story my next best-selling book. I had assumed that Elizabeth had killed Robert for his life insurance, but I was surprised to see her even worse off financially after his death. I have been sleeping with Enrique Graves, the farmhand, in order to gain inside information into Elizabeth's life. Today I struck gold. I found a clue to Robert's killer. I found a list of bank records, PIN codes, and financial transactions from immediately after Robert's death. I was shocked to learn that it was not Elizabeth who killed Robert. I came to her with this evidence, but she would not accept it. Anyway, you can read in my next book who killed Robert Killingsworth. As for Elizabeth, however, I'm baffled. The next code word is malice.
I have malice. I never liked Robert Killingsworth, Elizabeth's husband, and he never liked me. He was jealous of my relationship with Elizabeth. Even though our relationship was never physical, she adored me. Robert did not trust me for good reason. I did not drop out of college a year ago. I was kicked out for drug possession and for attempting to sell marijuana to an undercover police officer. This was an offense for which I was arrested. After serving a short time in jail, I headed west to California. I really was doing well for myself here. Elizabeth had enrolled me in college, and I had that librarian, Kathleen Mullet, so wrapped around my little finger that she was doing all the work for me. Robert Killingsworth, however, had tried to ruin everything for me. He did something in return. He did some research into my past and discovered my arrest. As fate would have it, Robert decided to confront me just as I was searching through his bank files in his study for a way to get the Killingsworth money. Robert was enraged and turned to call the police. I would have never let that happen. As soon as he turned around to pick up the phone, I grabbed the candlestick from the fireplace mantel and hit him over the head. I dumped Robert's lifeless body into Fremont Mill Lake, but I should have laid it down. Robert's body surfaced 2 weeks later. I cleaned the murder weapon and disposed of it by giving it to Catherine Lawless as a birthday present. If Elizabeth ever found out that I killed her husband, I would have had to kill her too. Vicky and I were in the rose garden tonight around 5:30. Either one could have found corkscrew. This is only my word, however, that I did not find it. Besides, I was unconscious at the time that Elizabeth was killed. I had been working on the wiring shortage in the wine vault when I was nearly electrocuted and blacked out. Vicky can attest to that. There's no way I could have killed Elizabeth Killingsworth. Mastermind is the next confession.
I have the mastermind clue. I did see Enrique Graves get shocked and fall unconscious. That is true. It is also true that I was with him in the rose garden at 5:30 and could have had access to the corkscrew. I'll be the first to admit that my sister and I did not get along. Until this weekend, Elizabeth and I have been estranged since high school when I stole her boyfriend away and married him. What a mistake that was. Recently, we had to sell our home because Norman was sued for sexual harassing a coworker. I also know that he's been stealing from his company to pay our debts. I do not want to be married to Norman any longer. Even after I lied to Elizabeth and told her Norman was beating me, she would not or could not give me a loan to start a new life. I was more appalled to find out that Norman still loved Elizabeth and was scheming to be a part of her life again. It dawned on me that if I killed Elizabeth, I would be her closest living relative and would inherit her money. Then I'd be free to move to Hollywood and become a star. The only downside is that I would have to share the money with Norman. A more sensible plan, I decided, would be to divorce Norman before knocking off Elizabeth. I believe that Dr. Chelsea Barron was spying on me at the time of Elizabeth's death. She can attest to the fact that I did not kill my sister.
Can I, though?
The next one is madness.
And that's the last one.
And that's me. So, I never stopped loving Elizabeth. Never stopped loving her. I'm sorry, Vicky. I'm sorry, wifey. Yes, even after marrying her sister, Vicky, I could never stop thinking about Elizabeth. I came to Killingsworth Farm not only because my job was in jeopardy and I needed a loan, but because I wanted to leave Vicky and marry Elizabeth. I bought Elizabeth the golden corkscrew as a gift and told her my intentions. Elizabeth, however, said she could never forgive me for leaving her so many years ago. I still loved Elizabeth and hoped that one day we could be together again. For the time being, however, I found myself stuck with Vicky, to whom I despised being married to. I was at the gazebo in the rose garden tonight when I saw Vicky kissing Enrique. How dare you? I was so enraged that I wanted them dead. I saw the corkscrew and I knew that it was my opportunity. I knew it. I grabbed it. I knew it was a time and the sign to do what I wanted. Get rid of Vicky. After a few minutes, they split up and left the rose garden. I followed Enrique first to the wine vault and watched him turn off the electricity from the main power switch in the rear of the building. He then walked down a maze of halls and he began working on some exposed wires. Doubling back, I returned to the electrical box and turned on the electricity. I heard a sharp crack of electricity and the lights went dark. I could hear Vicky scream. She must have seen Enrique get shot. Bumbling down the passageways, I made my way towards the sound of Vicky's scream. Suddenly, I was standing behind her. I pulled the corkscrew from my pocket and slammed it into the side of her neck. She fell to the floor, her blood spilling everywhere. I ran back to the farmhouse to figure out what to do next when I found everyone gathering in the main hall. To my horror, though, Vicky stood amongst the group of strangers. That's when I realised my mistake. I did not know that Elizabeth was in the wine vault. Elizabeth must have been wandering the halls following Vicky's screams. In the dark, I assumed she was Vicky, as they looked nearly identical, even in good lighting. I thought I was killing my wife, but instead, I killed the only woman I ever loved. I killed Elizabeth.
Dang. There it is. I'm sorry. Jovito was like, Enrique's getting it. Apparently. Yeah,
I know. And you never loved me, Norman. You never loved me.
I love you, Rhonda.
So
Ricky's got some moves.
I picked all the characters by random, so I did not know I'd be sleeping with everybody.
That was fun.
It was.
Yes, I'd be sleeping.
All right, so we had 3 people guess right. So Ashley was the first to say that I killed Robert. Then Shelley was the first to say James. And then Stacy was the first to say why James killed her. So I'm going to need one of my panel members, whoever has a paper closest, to write down a number between 1 and 10.
I have one right here.
I can just use my phone.
Okay, so I'm going to need Ashley, Shelley, and Stacy to each drop a number from 1 to 10.
I've got my number written.
I've got a number written. So does Tish.
Well,
who's writing the number?
Well, 3 of us have.
I just need someone to write the number.
I mean, you have those have drop the numbers, then you pick one of us for our numbers. That'll be the easiest way.
Okay, so Ashley picked 7. So Shelley is probably not going to pick a number, so I'm going to have to pick a number 4. Stacy's not either. Okay, so Trish's number will be Stacy's number, and Rhonda's number will be Shelley's number, because y'all are entering. And then the number that is number is James. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tish, what is the number you have?
9.
9. Okay, and that was for Shelley, right? Rhonda, what number do you have for Stacy?
7.
All right. What's the number, James?
Well, Stacy and Ashley are at a tie because I wrote 7.
Oh, jeez.
Stacy's
All right,
not playing though. Stacy doesn't want to enter.
What if
Stacy doesn't want to enter.
I choose a number, and Rhonda and Tish have to write a number for the 2 people, or the 2 people that I don't know. How do you want to do it?
That works. Write down another number, please. All 3 of you. So I'm not giving Stacy an option. Same with Shelley.
All right.
All right. What number do you have for Stacy?
Is that me?
Oh, yeah, Rhonda.
8.
What number do you have for Shelley? Tish?
6.
What number do you got?
4.
So Shelley would be the closest?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Even if you want to Shelley, you won.
Right? I told her if she was, I told her she was going to hurt my feelings if she didn't enter.
Wasn't there 2 winners anyway, you said, Amy? Wasn't there?
What?
Was there 2 prizes? I thought you said there were 2 prizes, or was it just 1?
Oh, wait. I did it wrong.
What about Ashley?
It wasn't Shelly. Yeah, it wasn't Shelly. It was Ashley, not Shelly, because Tisha was supposed to be doing the number for Ashley because Ashley and Stacey
So
had
Ashley won.
So Ashley won.
Yay, Ashley!
Ashley knows my Instagram. See, it's so confusing. I'm sorry.
But it's all fun. Congratulations.
All right. I thought it was fun.
Oh, Jovita wants to know who the second killer was. It was Enrique.
I killed Robert, and he killed.
And I killed Elizabeth, my one true love.
I really kept singing.
Even though you're my love one though.
I love you, even though you broke my heart.
With a corkscrew that you gave her. Ooh,
I know.
that was dirty.
Candlestick that you
So
killed.
I'm nosy and I'm cold-hearted, but I am not a killer. Just consider that now.
That's right.
Until I have to help you bury treasure later.
That's treasure. Just treasure.
This was actually fun for my first live.
Yeah, you did great.
You did fantastic.
Yeah, everybody, it's her first live ever.
Yay!
I technically killed it.
What a way to celebrate and enjoy it. So.
You killed an ant, Zach?
I killed a fly.
You killed a
Jovina,
fly
you want
and a
Dynasty?
spider?
I do too.
I didn't kill a spider, just a fly.
You killed a spider, I've heard.
I've done
Several
that.
spiders.
Zach, you do know that by killing the fly, you're decreasing the food source for the spider. And now it's going to starve to death. So you did kill.
Care? No. Do I care?
Yes.
No.
This was awesome.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was a little different, turning it into a live,
Have
but
a good rest of your night, Jovina.
Bye, Jovina.
bye.
No,
Debbie put all the spiders need to die.
no.
Oh, no, that's not a good thing.
I agree, Debbie. I'm sorry, okay? But literally, guys, so those of you who have been pregnant know that when you are pregnant, your dreams are that much more vivid. Well, with two of my children, when I was pregnant with them, I had literal nightmares of me holding on to the edge of a cliff as big, huge spiders were crawling up my legs. So I don't do spiders. I don't care if they're this tiny big. I don't do spiders. I'm sorry, I just don't.
See, I'm going to kill them.
I don't need spiders. I want no spiders. And you know what? I've actually been bitten by 2 recluses, one right here, and then one on my thigh. I had to go to the ER, and it was bad. So very bad. They had to cut it open. I don't like spiders.
You're lucky you don't have scars.
Yeah,
Oh, I know. I do on my thigh, but not on my face. Thank God.
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
This is your fortune,
Right?
Oh, Rogue, you got a niece? Congratulations.
Aw, congratulations.
Hey, Ashley Marie. That is scary. Monsters.
Snakes are okay. No, Mom sees a snake. She hides behind me like I'm supposed to do something.
Mm-mm.
She's seen one in the garden. She's like, get it out of the garden. I'm like, no.
See, that's something different. If they're outside and not by my door, they're fine. If they're inside my house, I call my husband. He's my spider killer. It's true.
Captain Spider Killer.
Right?
Different person now.
Welcome back, Deb.
See, Erica's on our side too.
I was so hoping they wouldn't stain on my face.
I can't. It hurts. My daughter smashed her toe real good.
Oh,
no.
Come here, baby.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Rogue. Oh, Samantha had scars on her legs from her recluse bites, too.
Ooh. Yep.
Yeah, it would be fun to do this again, Stacy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be.
I had fun.
I don't know about every month, maybe every other month.
Yeah, you did a lot of work for this, Amy. And thank you for putting it all together, and thanks for having me in it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you too.
I don't even
That
remember.
beard off real quick.
I just remember I was in a live, and it was James, Tish, Zach, I think Rhonda, and Joe. Maybe you weren't there, Rhonda. But it was them, and they were talking about Bailey Cesarian and how she does her murder mystery makeup. And I was like, that would be really interesting to do a murder mystery live. And that's how this came about.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I was nervous at first, won't lie.
Oh, yeah, me too. I don't know why I couldn't make it work on my channel. Every time that I tried to stream it, StreamYard said, error, try again. And I tried for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's a beautiful name, Rogue. Airy Winter. That's pretty.
Aww. Is it Ari?
Ari, probably Ari, not Airy.
My daughter's name is Aria.
It's okay, Samantha. It was all just for fun,
Mm-hmm.
You were Ashley.
It was all sorts of fun and games.
And now we know what to do next time.
Yep.
Yeah, now that we know.
Right?
And there was some secret clues that I had to give, but nobody ever asked me any questions.
Mm-hmm.
So instead I could only give the secrets if people question me about stuff. It could have
That's why I
been.
had to I was like, I have a secret clue, but I don't know how it fit in.
Right. Yuri. It's pronounced Yuri.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm bored.
Okay. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm glad we could throw it together and
I want to play that so bad, Stevie.
Oh yeah, me too.
Hunt the killer. Now you're not a man anymore. Amy, you're back to your old beautiful self.
Thank you. I still have stuff all over my face, but
Your man face was really good though.
Yeah.
thank you. It took 2.5 hours.
Oh my
I
god.
have to do each individual.
It looks so good.
Thank you.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I usually don't like being killers of things because I always feel awkward being the killer. I'm like, no, I want to be innocent. Leave me alone.
But you were a great killer. Because you thought you were killing me, but you killed my sister.
Little did I know. So I assigned everybody's characters by random, and James actually had Enrique first, but then I was reading and I was like, Norman's the killer. I don't want to be Norman. I don't want to be the killer. My own murder mystery live. I don't want to do that. So I gave it to him. Little did I know Enrique was still a killer. So that was fun.
Ashley, you have a great day with the kids in school. Love you, girl.
Bye.
Ashley's awesome.
And it's kind of funny you picked a crazy cat lady for me.
Well, that could fit many of us, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Coolio.
Not only am I a murderer, I'm sleeping around with every woman in it, except
I
for
know.
Need to get information.
You're murdering the pussy. You're murdering the pussy. Love that.
Shelley, the killer of Elizabeth was James. The killer of
Hold on.
Robert.
was Amy.
Yes, Shelley, I meant to actually kill Vicky because Vicky, I despised her apparently, even though beautiful Rhonda. And I thought I was killing Vicky as I'd seen Vicky kissing Enrique. And I'm like, I'd stab you. But I accidentally stabbed Elizabeth instead. Oopa daisy.
James got stabby with it.
Murder was the case.
With ironically the corkscrew that he gave her earlier.
I know.
That is just wrong.
That's why you don't kill people, James. You kill the wrong person.
Yeah, Candy was trying to get me to tell her who the killer was. And I was like, nope. She guessed it right away, even without hearing anything. She's like, "It's James, isn't it?"
So the cool thing was nobody else except for me knew Enrique was the killer for Robert. Not anybody in the chat or the panel knew either.
Yeah, that was cool. Bye, Bethany.
I mean, they all were shady people. They all were up to no good. None of us were good people. We all were shitty people.
Yeah, one of my secret things is that I was hitting Elizabeth up for money and she didn't have any. I even said that James was beating on me and she didn't care. She said I deserved it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do it, apparently. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, I didn't even lay a finger on you, Vicky. I only ever treated with you in love and kindness.
When you were harassing people at work and cheating on me.
One of my secrets, Tish, the doctor, spilled. No one was supposed to know that I had like a pot field down by the barn. She rented me out.
Pot farmer.
Right.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, my character was obsessed with Enrique and did everything and went and did a search on him too. Found out about the pot stuff too.
My character was obsessed with Catherine.
Well, why wouldn't he be? Catherine's a hottie.
I'm just a drifter that wanted all their money, apparently. So I killed Robert because he found me out.
Oh, Ashley, I didn't cheat first because Norman was cheating on me and doing sexual harassment before. I didn't mess around with anybody till Enrique.
I'm not spilling my secrets.
That's good to know for the future, Tish.
You did also accuse me of like assaulting you to your sister for no reason.
I know, but she said I deserved it, which is even worse.
There was a reason, James.
Like, how horrible.
She wanted money.
I know.
She had a reason for accusing.
I wanted to be a star, James. I wanted to go to Hollywood and be a star.
Now, supposedly the day that all of us got together, my character decided to quit her job so she can go and live the fantastic life. That's what one of the clues was on my dark secrets. I did.
Norman was a hoe, not the garden type either, Stacey said.
He's gonna hook up with my sister.
The gardener was the one getting the most play.
It's true, and I did kill Robert.
And the mystery is solved. But it was so much fun.
It was. Thank you guys for agreeing to do it with me.
Mm-hmm.
You're so welcome.
Everybody played their character amazingly.
We try.
These two on top with their dramatic voices.
Oh yeah, I love to.
James is like, I'm changing. Didn't even wait for it to get over.
I'm not comfortable in that clothing, so I'm like, I'm more comfy like this. So.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Norman is a killer name. Lots of creepy Norman killers.
Mm-hmm.
I have to remember to take my eyelashes off in here because the last time I took my eyelashes off somewhere other than in here, my monkey pillow ended up wearing my eyelashes.
Oh, monkey pillow.
Her Michigan monkey.
Oh, Michigan monkey.
I put my false lashes on my cat that you guys this scene. It was kind of funny watching it because she wouldn't leave me alone.
I'm terrible at lashes. I don't practice enough.
I just gotta keep remembering to put them on before I put the glitter on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what messes me up. Yep.
Everyone needs to watch Stacey. They're all killers.
You can watch
I was
it.
going to root here to stay asleep, and I forged a ladder to get that place.
Hell yeah. Oh well.
It would have been cool if there was gold on that property, for real.
There is gold.
There is. That was what
okay.
it was. That's why Michael and Catherine wanted it so much.
There's gold in them dar hills.
If my character was digging around, since I'm the historian, I know everything.
Actually, Enrique probably would have,
Shelley.
spread the love to you. Apparently, Enrique was spreading love to everyone.
And then decided he wanted to give a murder weapon to Catherine as a present for her birthday. She left. She said she had to get the kids to school, I think. Right? As taught by Ashley.
That's just Ashley Marie is the one who did the kids at school. Because Ashley Marie is in Japan.
Mm.
So they're like 13 hours ahead of us. That's right. Grounds for divorce and rich too.
Well, yeah. Now Vicky inherits everything.
Money,
And she
money, money.
her husband. It's a win-win for her. She didn't have to do nothing. Sit back and watch the only men in her life screw it up for her, Give her that.
I feel so fortunate I didn't have to lift a dirty finger.
I wanted to tell you something, Tish. You know what happened to Crystalline with the bracelet? She finally got it, but she only got the card.
Yeah.
Emily did the same thing.
Wait,
She
what?
just got the card. No Boston Emily. Right?
Melissa, I love your hair.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You
It
just
looks
got the card, and then the bracelet was in
Good.
the package. She didn't even get the bracelet. They sent her back the package that it was in. Empty.
Let's.
It's a mystery.
I think I need another drink.
Okay.
Not bad for a salted caramel.
Well, all right. Oh, there's nothing about inheriting. I'm not an adulterer. I just smooched a little. That's not totally adultering.
Husband did it first.
That's
Yep.
true. He was getting sued.
And I overheard it.
That's right. You sure did. Well, Erica, there's usually a lull every 7 minutes in a conversation, and there's a lot of people to conversate.
Okay, so you guys want to be on my next Murder Mystery Live, which will be January 11th. It'll be the day before my birthday. It'll be my birthday Murder Mystery Live.
It'll be after my
That was
birthday.
my dad's birthday.
Yeah, yours too.
January 11th.
January 6th is my birthday.
Awesome.
Yep.
Capricorns!
Capricorn in the
I don't know
house.
if you guys can see that, but look.
Ooh, I like that.
I have that, and then, hold on my neck.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it goes there too. So I have it basically. If I go like this, like one, read it upside down. So by hanging upside down, you can read what it says. Still, it says the same thing.
That's cool.
My husband found that interesting. He's like, "Hey, I can read it this way or this way."
Upside down and backwards.
Yep. But it says family because
Aw.
this is my brother and sister. This is actually my mother and my father, which is actually me and my husband's zodiac sign too.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a Capricorn, my husband's a Sagittarius, and my mom's a Sag, and my dad's a Cap. So, kind of works. But at least me and my husband are staying together, unlike my parents.
Where did the man go? Oh, Amanda.
The man shaved.
I just wiped it off. I still have it on a little bit. You know, you can see right there.
Yeah, that's a double cleanse right there.
Right?
Bye, Shelly. Enjoy your pizza.
Night.
Yeah, I'm probably going to head to go get some food sorted for myself and go do chores. It's about to be 12 p.m. midday for me, so might as well make some use of the day now.
Alrighty.
Thank you very much,
Alright.
Amy, for hosting the actual thing, and then thank you, Rhonda, as well, for allowing us use of your channel when technical difficulties occur.
My pleasure.
Thank you. I was freaking out there. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
See everyone later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Samantha.
Okay.
Bye.
And then there were 5.
Yeah. I need to figure out what I'm doing for dinner because my roommate both of them I call my brother. One of them, it's his birthday today, and that's why I was having a birthday drink with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I made him a cheesecake. That's his favorite thing.
Ooh,
So it's a
neat.
brownie coffee bottom with coffee cheesecake top.
That sounds amazing.
It smells hella good. I wanted to eat it.
I did, Amanda. I finished it almost a week ago. So if you guys want to see it, I'll show you a sneak peek. So tomorrow there's a Wizard of Oz collab coming out for Buggy My Mom Tammy's birthday and her 1-year anniversary. And I was the Wicked Witch. Amanda was asking about it.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
You really, really, really should have made me your flying monkey.
I should have.
I was a jitterbug.
A jitterbug.
Just less square. There we go.
There was really that's really pretty.
Yeah, I can see it better this time.
Amanda told me I had to do the I'll get you my pretty in the beginning of my video, so that is there.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yep.
See, I did a jitter. It didn't really give much of a detail on the jitterbug.
Oh, I love it.
Because it was like either you do ladybug or just a random antenna kind of crap thing. So I'm like, throw both of them together.
Right?
But I think my favorite one was today where I put up the Red Queen. That was painful.
Right? I did the Red Queen look. Oh, I don't know. I think it was like middle of September. I made the same crown that you did. I made the little cup.
The
I love
card.
it. Yep, it was so cute.
I've never seen Wizard of Oz.
You've never seen a lot of good movies, Zach.
He's never seen Hocus Pocus either, right?
I'm not sure we can
Well,
be
You've
friends.
never,
Or Beetlejuice.
or Nightmare Before Christmas.
I watched Hocus Pocus the other day. It was on TV.
Oh, good.
I have.
You have an assignment, Zach.
What?
Your assignment is to watch Wizard of Oz.
Okay, I'll watch it. We have it on DVD.
I grew up watching it with my grandma. In fact, actually, I think last month I had my 5-year-old watch it. She never once, I was expecting, Mommy, why is it in black and white? Never once did she say that. But when it turned into color, she goes, Mommy, there's color in Oz. And she was calling it the Wizard of Oz.
That
It's so cute.
Oh, how cute.
back in the day, everything was actually black and white. And he asked Paula, my mother-in-law, he asked her if she lived back in the old days when everything was still black and white.
Wow.
I've seen part of it, then I fell asleep.
She was not impressed. You know how she does not like to be considered old.
Yeah, behind my stepmom's back, I call her the Wicked Witch of the West. That woman has some freaking. What did you do to my computer, you little butthead? BB!
I have to film my Learn It Wednesday for tonight, and I have to be honest, I'm nervous. I've tried to do it one other time, and it turned into a complete disaster, so I had to, wipe it off. And that was, 3 months ago before I even did the Learn It. So, I'm nervous. I hope it turns out okay. Everybody picked the Starry Night.
That was really good.
I did Starry Night on an Easter egg. We had paint pens, and I did Starry Easter egg. It was really cool, and I kept it in my fridge for a couple of years because I loved it so much.
That's
I
cool.
didn't. I voted, but I let Mom pick for me this time.
Do you know how to crack the shell and blow out like the inside of the egg so you can keep just the shell?
I know how to do that. I've done that for my mom.
Rhonda?
That's what our babies do.
Do you know how to crack the shell a little bit and then crack the bottom and then you blow out the inside so you can keep just the shell?
My husband can do that. I cannot. He's actually got he had a whole series of eggs, like with faces, 2 faces, all the eggs. We were putting on our mansion and over here for a while.
That's cool.
He is much more gifted in that way than I am. Sorry, not school.
My favorite one is one that I won't be painting on my face, but it's The Young Martyr by Paul Delaroche. That's my favorite painting of all time.
That's cool. I don't know what my favorite painting of all time is, but it's probably a Salvador Dali because I am obsessed with him, and I've been to 2 of his 3 museums. I've been to the one in Florida, I've been to the one in Paris, and then I just have to go to Spain one day, and then I'll have the trifecta.
That's cool. My goal is I want to go to the Louvre so bad.
I've been outside the Louvre, but I never made it inside.
That's The Young Martyr.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite painting.
That's awesome.
No, you can't have huggies.
Hello, husband. The murder mystery was a success. I would.
Did they catch the foul?
He admitted it.
All right. Who was it?
It was James. It was my husband.
Your husband?
My husband was a killer.
Well, it's close to real life, then, isn't it?
Yes, it's close to real life, bro. He's a lady killer. At least one lady.
Dynamite related.
Yep. Guaranteed to blow your mind. All right, kids. Well, I'm going to scoot and spend some time with the man, but it was wonderful to host, and I was so glad that I could help.
Thank you.
I hope everybody has a fantastic night. I know Zach's getting ready to go live in just a little bit. But it was so much fun. And Melissa, it's good to get to know you.
I had a lot of fun with you guys.
It was awesome. And Tish,
I
it's
thought it
always
was
a
going to be bad
pleasure.
on the phone.
Always a pleasure, madame. And Tish, I got Zots today from Amazon. You made me get Zots. It was a cheat day, so I had some Zots. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Really?